All right, good evening. I'm going to begin without Jenny. Welcome to the April 24th meeting of the Arlington Redevelopment Board. I'm going to jump around the agenda, recorded by ACMI. I'm going to jump around the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I may make some recordings too, if that's all right.
Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for notifying me. I'm going to jump around the agenda really quickly. Just quickly go to the third item for approval of meeting minutes from March 27th and April 6th. Again, I'll begin with you. I didn't see any changes myself.
I have no issues with it.
Good with it.
No changes.
I can only vote on the March 27. I wasn't here for April 6.
Okay. So do we have a motion for March 27th?
Move to approve the minutes of March 27th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then is it April 3rd? Or April 6th or April 3rd?
It says April 3rd.
Would have been
It's
April 3rd.
April 6th. It's April 6th.
It should be
Alright,
April
so
6th.
I'll amend April 6th
So
at the
it's an
top.
error.
That's fine. Okay.
Move to approve minutes of
It was April 3.
April
April 3rd.
6th. April.
Wait,
What
which
day
day was
It is
it?
April,
Look at
it
our
is, it
calendars.
would be April
Wait.
3rd because today's
April
April
The
24th.
10th and the
April
17th.
10th.
It's
I have a
April 3rd.
calendar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I won't amend that.
What date
Move
was
to-
Just
it?
counting back
It was
21
a Monday.
days, April 3rd. All
Move
right.
to approve the Arlington Redevelopment Board minutes of April 3rd.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Jenny, schedule through summer 2017.
Okay. In your
You say you were
packet,
present, that's it.
Oh, right.
on which one?
Yeah, I was not on April 3rd. Thank you, David. I didn't even look at that. So it has to be
Okay.
amended to
Yeah, just noticed
remove
that.
that.
Do we need to re-vote as amended?
you should vote again
Yeah.
with the amendment.
Thank you.
Motion. All right, I'll fix it. So, the minutes of April 3rd need to be amended to reflect that Gene Benson was not in attendance, and move to approve the Arlington Redevelopment Board minutes of April 3rd as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
All right, so moving on to the first item on our agenda, which is the schedule through summer 2017.
All right, in your packet, there's a calendar with the dates that are highlighted with our current meeting schedule through, well, actually goes through the end of the year, but we're just talking about, I'd like to just focus our attention through August, if that's all right. And so with that, we're not proposing anything to change for May, which is, the next meeting would be May 1st and then May 15th. But June, we have some conflicts from board members and then also staff who will be away for different parts of June and then also in August. So we would like to make some recommendations for some changes. So I can run through that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so in June, we are proposing to meet June 5th and June 12th rather than June 5th and June 19th.
Can I just mention,
Yes.
I will miss those meetings. I will
Yes.
be gone from the 5th through the 19th.
Yeah.
So,
Both meetings.
both
Yeah,
meetings.
any of those Mondays would have worked.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's all I want to get.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's a proposal. The second one would be, do you wish to have 2 meetings in July and 2 meetings in August? Or do you, sometimes in past years, you've met, at a different pace
So
in the summer?
I'm actually likely to be out of town the week of the 3rd.
And the 3rd is not the holiday, the 4th is the holiday,
Yeah,
so it's, yeah. It's
I don't want
not
to do it.
the best idea.
I don't think we need a meeting July 3rd, unless there's something pressing. So we could either move it to the 10th or just not move it altogether.
The next meeting is on the 17th.
Okay.
July 17th, so we could eliminate the July 3rd meeting and just meet on the 17th, or meet on the 10th, 17th, that's open.
Let's just meet on the 17th.
And then in August, we were thinking maybe you would only need 1 meeting. Laura and I have looked ahead at some of the scheduling and what we think might be coming up, and we think 1 meeting is likely okay for August. So right now you're scheduled for the 7th and the 21st.
August, I would vote for 7th, possible,
That's fine.
To meet on the 7th.
as opposed to the 21st, yes.
So then there's no,
I don't know my schedule for August, so I'll go with the
Okay.
majority.
Yeah,
of that.
mine may change, but that should be fine.
you could also decide to keep the meetings, and then if you want to cancel them, you can do that. I'm just running through what
Why,
we're looking
yeah,
at.
why don't we keep both and then plan,
Okay,
just as a contingency until it's on people's
sure.
radar.
So then the only one you've canceled so far is July
We'll
3rd.
cancel July 3rd, we'll
What
keep
do
the
you
2 in
want to do
August.
about June 12th, June meetings?
Why don't we meet the 12th and the 19th?
Well, Jenny's not gonna.
I won't be here on the 19th, just so you know.
Oh.
But
Okay,
you could do that. You still wouldn't have Jean.
You'd only have me on the 26th.
yeah, but we don't have Jean
Either
any of those three except
Right.
the 26th.
And we think that the 5th is when we already will likely have,
887 Mass Ave,
887.
corner of Schiller Court, but they might, I don't think they would mind the 12th. probably.
mhm,
They could do either.
Can we do the 12th and the 26th?
you can,
That way if
you
anything.
may.
Well, that way if anything comes up the 12th, Jean can get up to speed for the 26th and be here to vote.
Yeah, and then you'll have a
Thank you.
vote.
And then if we don't need the 26th, we can just cancel.
Right, let's do that.
Yeah, and then
12
there's not too big of a
26th.
gap of time actually between that and the 17th, so that's
Okay.
better. I won't be here that one either, just let you know.
Okay, so we're eliminating the 5th then.
Yeah, not the 5th, so it's the 12th and the 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're eliminating the 5th and the 19th.
And we eliminated the 3rd, but we keep the 7th and the 21st.
And
in
May is
August.
set, May is set in stone.
May is done. We have
That's-
set
Yeah.
planned.
Ready. Do we have anything for the 1st?
Yes, we will.
Should we move our meeting to 7 o'clock because town meeting will begin at 8?
It would be helpful if you had an extra half hour of time that night because there will be a sign application and maybe one other item. May 1st?
Yeah,
Have we advertised anything yet?
the sign.
Mhm.
It's,
For 7:30?
Yeah.
Why don't we start that meeting at 7? And take care of any other business before the
Mhm.
sign,
I think that makes sense.
and then we have enough time to get the sign before we have to adjourn to town
Okay.
meeting.
So May 1st, we're starting at 7.
Right.
We used to start at 7 all the time. That's what I said.
Makes it easier, 7:30 is so much easier.
I know, it's easier. It is.
I can actually have dinner sometimes.
Do you eat?
I
All right.
like to fall asleep.
So is that it?
That was it. There's just two more things, not A or B meetings, but there's the Arts and Culture Action Plan final meeting. The final forum is on June 6th. I just wanted to make sure that, I know I've mentioned it in the past, but it's June 6th, starting at 7, Town Hall Auditorium. And then the zoning recodification working group will be hosting a public forum on the
13th. July
the
13th.
13th.
Yeah, July
July
13th.
13th, yes.
Okay.
And that is to discuss.
I'd like to
that'll
see
be
as
the-
many members of this board
The
attend
draft.
that meeting as possible. I know it's a tough ask on Thursday night, but,
Yeah,
and I don't usually ask that question, but that's important and it's going to be important.
And it's where?
we don't have that.
Yes, it's in the,
Or do-
it's gonna be in the senior center.
Okay.
But we had to schedule the room.
What date is it?
July
July
13th,
July 13th.
7?
yes.
Yes.
I didn't
My
read it,
calendar says.
please, so. Yes.
Because he's on that committee.
No.
And that's for the zoning recodification, so you'll actually, there will be a draft of that zoning bylaw. You'll have that well in advance, you'll
Is
have
that-
that sooner rather than
Oh,
later.
you don't.
But that's what that meeting is about.
Okay.
So I would suggest that you would vote with all of these amendments, so that you have a new schedule.
Okay.
And we can post it.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended meeting schedule, the meeting schedule as amended for June, July, and August 2017.
I'll vote to amend meeting schedule for May, June, July, and August as amended.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can you send that around,
Yes.
everybody? Moving on to,
A question. Do we have any indication on when the Summer Street project might come back around?
It may come back May 15th.
Yeah, that's our projection. Nothing definitive, though.
excuse me, moving on to ARB membership and representation on committees, Jenny.
You should have a list of all of the committees where you currently have an ARB rep. Some of them are ARB members, some of them are people who've applied and are a representative on behalf of the board. We had, back in December, you had Ken serve as technically in a temporary position on the Community Preservation Committee. We wanted to revisit that. And then I think we just in general want to revisit this slate to see if there's any interest in moving things around or other membership issues.
The two things that I don't see on there are the Central School Building Committee,
Okay.
which I've been on when it happens.
Mhm.
I don't think there's been a meeting in 9 months at least.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Toole is on the Vision 2020 committee, but isn't there the Vision 2020 standing and
Mhm.
steering?
Yes.
Which I'm on the one that she's not.
Yeah, we'll make that distinction.
Which one is she on, do you know?
She's on the standing committee.
I'd be happy to give up either of those seats.
So the Central School Building Committee, it will kick into gear next fiscal year, actually, once we put out an RFP for a new architect to do the design, the final designs and plans for the senior center. So there will be a lot more happening with that committee. It was basically not active this past year because we had already finished the work on the feasibility study the year prior. But that will be picking up again, so we don't have to necessarily entertain who wants to serve on every one of these committees, but I do think CPC is the one.
I'm willing to stay on that committee if no one else does.
Well, if you had asked me to do it, I would be happy to do it, but then you wouldn't have any committee. I feel very sad about none.
That's not the end of the world.
But if you think you'd pick up another one instead, I'd be happy to do it. It's up to you.
I only asked because I knew your interest in it. So you think that's fine with you?
What nights does it meet? That's the only, because I'm going to be teaching Thursday nights this fall, so.
It
it's the only
varies. It varies.
limitation.
It's been varying, yeah.
If it varies, I can do it. If it's Thursday nights, I can't.
If you feel strongly, I have no problem giving it up.
Well-
And I'll let you run with it, if that's your,
I'll do that for a while and then,
okay.
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 That's good.
Does somebody inform them? that-
Yeah, well, I would have to, I'll prepare a letter and send that on and make it clear that we've changed. You would need to vote, and then we will make that change happen.
She tell me I had a good time. It happened even because of that.
Thanks for the good times.
Yeah.
We've appointed Jean Benson. I just need you to vote on that.
So someone needs to make a motion.
Can I motion that I leave and substitute Jean or something?
Motion, so it would be a motion to replace Kin Lau with Jean Benson on the Community Preservation Committee.
Is the ARB.
Is the ARB designate.
I would so move.
I need a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Any other changes to this, or everything else is the same?
We can leave everything the same for now, unless someone wants to take on Vision 2020 or Central School.
Building project.
I can take on Central School.
You'd like the Central School.
We knew this was coming.
I didn't think about that, but yes, it would be great
I can do that.
once that comes back.
Okay.
So we need a motion and.
So move to replace Andrew Bonnell with Kin Lau on the Central School Building Committee.
I'll second that.
You have to move.
I move to place.
You can say so moved. You move.
So
So
moved.
move.
I'll
So
second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'll stay with Vision 2020 for now. They don't meet quarterly.
Yeah, it's
Fine.
quarterly.
And Andy is my alternate on the master plan implementation committee.
Mhm.
So if I can't make it, he's really willing to do so.
Yep.
I already did minutes, and then Jenny, I'm going to defer to you to talk about correspondence that was received and kind of bring the board up to speed, because that came in quickly. I don't think any of us are more than minorly aware of what's.
Came in today?
No.
No, Friday.
Oh,
No.
Last
A week
Came in our
or 2
packet.
weeks ago, at least, but you got it in your packet. There's a letter that I received. It's in your packet. is, you've also got a draft, and this actually came from Laura.
A summary,
The
yeah.
summary of the project, and a little bit of a review.
On the last page,
It's actually
attached
called
letter.
The Residences at Alewife Station. This is where the Lanes and Games and Gateway Inn properties are located, currently on Route 2. The letter that we are,
Yeah,
that prompted
The last
this,
page,
of that letter.
summary.
36.
the letter that prompted this conversation was delivered to me from Madeline Astor on behalf of Alewife and North Cambridge neighborhoods. I have not had any other correspondence with this individual since, so all I have is this information.
And I'm here.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
There's Madeline. We're now corresponding. Further correspondence is now occurring. We've looked at this. It was voted on by the City of Cambridge Planning Board, so that something has now been issued. The letter is saying that within the 20-day time period for appeals, would the board have any interest in, participating in or filing an appeal to the project? That's something that you can discuss. I don't know that you have a lot of time to discuss this, and we've prepared a very preliminary review of what we've received and what we've been able to look at about the project. We also looked at it in relationship to various Cambridge city plans, and including looking at traffic and environmental issues. So that's the information that's before you right now. I guess the only thing to add is, it's currently a hardscape, with all completely paved property. The proposal, which is now approved, it still hasn't happened obviously, but it is, a very significant change to the site, but that could come with improvements that address a lot of the issues that have been noted in many plans in Cambridge. So we're not deciding something that's going to go in Cambridge. You have the opportunity to say, do you want to make a comment during this 20-day appeal period, which I think frankly will end shortly.
I don't know.
I'm not sure I think we're outside of that appeal period, but you could still provide a comment
Excuse me?
letter, you could still, yes?
It hasn't been filed with the
It hasn't
clerk
been
yet.
filed yet.
So
Okay.
we have up to 90 days from April 4th.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So, that's what I can provide to you just as a beginner for this conversation.
Jean, you,
I had a couple of questions. One is, I don't know whether we have the standing.
that's my concern,
So
and I don't think we do.
I wonder if we could ask the town council to look at that, because I would be interested in knowing if we have the standing to appeal, if there was anything we wanted to appeal.
Mhm.
And second is, I wonder whether we were required to have gotten notice somewhere along the way, and if we did.
Okay, so I can address both points. I mean, one is I spoke with Doug Heim, town council, and he did not feel that there was any standing for the board to make an appeal. However, I noted in my email correspondence to you when I forwarded this letter, which I believe I did, that you also had previously, not you as a group, but the Arlington Redevelopment Board, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, issued a letter to the Town of Belmont Planning Board in relationship to their permitting process of the then called Belmont Uplands project. It was a comment letter, essentially. And so you could choose to do take similar action if you felt that it was necessary. But do you have standing as part of an appeal? I did clarify that with Doug Heim, and there is not anything clear to us that would be a standing for an appeal. The second matter of did we receive notice? I did not receive any particular notice. We always in our office receive notices from neighboring communities, from the ZBA Planning Board about hearings and such. I do not recall seeing this one come up, or I would have brought it to your attention earlier. I had actually been looking for it. So I don't know I can't clarify that for sure without going back, looking through my files.
Can I say one other thing? It sort of seemed to me that the one concern that I had when I looked at it was the traffic issue.
Mm-hmm.
And because that, I think, has a significant impact on Arlington. And, I mean, I have, you know, this is all we have, so I have no idea whether they've proposed any mitigation other than the number of parking spaces and bicycle things and stuff like that. So, and I don't know whether if we felt like it did have an impact on Arlington because of traffic, it would give us standing to do something.
So,
Go ahead.
Laura might be able to respond.
Yeah, I
to some of that. She
reviewed the
did
traffic
research
study
on the traffic
and also
study.
the city of Cambridge's review of the traffic study. They're not really proposing any mitigation. Their position is that because it is going to be transit-oriented development with lots of, and also large bike, a lot of bike parking, that there's going to be less than half of the trips are going to be car trips. And they're comparing it to Box on 2 next door, and that has been the case there. It's like 46% of the trips there are automobile trips. And their position is that it's not going to increase the traffic in any significant way. And so there is no mitigation, no of that type, traffic mitigation.
Any other comments, concerns?
Is there some soil contamination on that site? Are we downstream or upstream? Do you know? So, if this thing's being built, is it gonna, we're gonna,
Well, they all went approaching the Mystic, right?
My recollection, and this could be wrong, is that we're upstream and the water flows from Arlington across Route 2 to Cambridge, but I could be wrong, but that's my recollection. And it would be helpful, I think, to know the answer to that, although I'm assuming they're gonna have to do a site remediation before they can actually build this.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that ultimately that's not gonna be an issue.
okay? I don't see I don't have any other questions, besides the question of do we have any jurisdiction?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been answered by town council. That was my thought initially, was that we as a board don't have the standing to step in here. I can think of any number of other entities that might, but certainly wouldn't be the ARB.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
May I
sir.
address you?
Yes. Name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Michael Brandon, B-R-A-N-D-O-N. I'm the clerk for the North Cambridge Stabilization Committee. And the letter was generated by one of our members that's before you. I think maybe your town council might be mistaken. The reason we approached the Arlington board was, our understanding is that you do have standing. You should have received notice of the special permit hearing as the planning board of an abutting town. That right there, if indeed it was never sent, would be grounds, grounds for a legal appeal. Also, in Chapter 40A, which is the zoning act, the state zoning act, that the abutting towns' planning boards are specifically identified as parties in interest with presumed standing to sue, as are abutters. And the problem we faced with this site, although there is widespread objection for a variety of reasons that are outlined in the letter, we're not aware of any immediate abutters or nearby abutters who were aware of what's going on, and it's mostly a commercial area except for the big Box on 2, and those are renters, and all that, and it's the same developer. So we suspect that he hasn't advised his tenants that this is going to be going on. And there are a lot of impacts that we see will affect Arlington. When Box on 2 was built, there was terrible vibrations and noise for weeks at a time that affected the residential areas across Route 2. The flooding issue, and I believe the water flow from Little River into Alewife Brook is actually towards Arlington, so there may be issues there. It's not, there is pollution on the site. There's some indication, it may flow from Arlington, as I believe there are conduits underneath the highway that flow from the wetlands in Arlington towards the Little River. So part of the hydrology may, flow that way. So I know you have an abbreviated meeting tonight. I won't go on, but we'd be happy to come back, also to furnish whatever documentation, because there is a fair amount that would help you assess what impacts this might have and whether you might want to consider an appeal. And indeed, the 20-day time period has not started. I'd be happy to talk to your town council about it also. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, David.
My concern, which this gentleman brought up, is the notice issue, because we're in a procedurally difficult position right now, where we didn't get notice, we didn't have time to address any of these issues.
Let me just hold on a minute. I said I'm not certain that we did. We always get notices of ZBA hearings and special permit hearings in neighboring communities. I don't recall seeing that one, and the only way that I can confirm that, I just get back from being away. So I need to call the city of Cambridge probably to confirm, and get a list of their, basically they do the same thing that we do. They have a list of abutters. So I'm sorry, let me just make sure.
I understand. So we should confirm whether or not we received notice, because, I mean, at this point, if their planning board has approved the project, there's not much point to us making a comment. The only action that could have any effect would be some kind of an appeal, and we need to know if we have a basis and an interest in appealing.
Yeah.
Sorry, may I address the board?
We actually
very
need,
quickly.
we need to continue over to town meeting.
Okay.
Why don't we answer those questions?
Sorry.
Now, start
Yeah.
for another night, not next week.
Is there a chance that the TAC can take a look at this parking? Jenny, is there a chance that TAC can take a look at this parking?
That's the Board of Selectmen, not our board. So I can have the Board of Selectmen refer it to TAC.
Do I have to look at the traffic study, me?
Yeah, can we do that? And why don't we put this on, we can't do it May 1st because we have other things.
Because even-
It comes up, but possibly May.
There are ripple effects in other things too.
We must adjourn.
Yeah, we need to go. I'm sorry to cut you short.
That's okay, I just want to quickly say that we're from the coalition to
Our
say to move our
emails are
wetlands,
on
and
the
we'll
Arlington
send you a
website,
comment.
and you
Yeah.
can send it to all of us. I need somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.